Hey, in this video, let's see if we can do something cool to quickly add detail to our sculpt. So I'm here messing around. I just created this silly zombie head, and at this point it's just one big chunk of Dynamesh, so it's not optimized for anything exciting. But I was just thinking, what would be a quick way to create some detail without putting too much time into it? So one of the ways we could do it, and to show the difference between this and having some detail, let's go ahead and press Shift S and then drag our, holding the Alt key and left mouse button, I can drag the my mesh to the middle, right? So now this is essentially just a screenshot. So we can look at the difference before and after. So now if I wanted to add detail very quickly, what I could do is go into masking. So right here under deformation, I'm going to go to masking. And then looking at this character, I have a lot of peaks and valleys. So what I could do is I can go to mask peaks and valleys. And then we have something called the PV range and then the PV coverage. Coverage is going to be, if you hold on the control key, it will tell you. But this will just control the amount of mask being applied. And this one is just the distance of the mask, right? So if we drag this maybe about halfway to like 50, this is at 35. If I say mask peaks and valleys on my character, I can see that it right away starting to look like there's something going on instead of just being completely flat. So I can of course control this. I can reduce my range and maybe make it less or more masked, whatever whatever makes sense. Maybe I can lower this if I want a little less of it, or maybe I do like a lot of detail, so I'm gonna do a lot of the coverage. And the cool thing is now, since it's masked, what we could do is we can press control key anywhere here to flip it. If we wanted to maybe use paint to only do certain parts of the character and create kind of a skin variation. Or, for example, we can also just use something like inflate while this is being masked. My inflate is dragged from my deformation. So now if I inflate this just a little bit and get rid of the mask, you can see the difference between something flat, which could also work, but maybe sometimes you do want some crazy detail. And in my case, this looks pretty cool, I think, because this would take a long time to hand place all this detail. And of course now if I wanted to, I can go to my I usually like to use standard brush for painting. If I set my RGB to maybe about 10, I can grab kind of a red color and start painting a little hints of where I think the skin should be a little bit warmer, right? So maybe pump this up a little, do a little more. So in conjunction with masking and colors, you can create something very cool very fast, and it's a really interesting trick to keep in mind. And once you paint, if you wanted to blend it a little more, keep in mind you can always go back to green, and now just make sure your RGB is really low, maybe like 5, and you can just pump the color all the way through the mesh to kind of blend it a little more. You can see how the red is blending in more and more. So just a cool little trick. I hope you find this useful, and go ahead and take advantage of your masking when you get into more detailing or painting. Alright, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next one.